This is a good. Right, right.
Go through. I'll go through this. Then it's going to generate questions on.
Did you guys grab an agenda? I'm sorry, what? I'm Linda. You're welcome. Fernandez. Yep. You are. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll let it begin.
Good morning.
The questions come up regarding.
No, it's on the.
So questions come up for art review or for like a little bit about community outreach. And yeah, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll touch on it, and then yeah, we can have over any questions, guys. That way we don't miss those first. Yeah. So which direction we facing?
Sign-in sheet, and there's agendas that have been updated. I feel like we should have. I don't know.
Another cubic yard. We're down 2 cubic yards. More to go.
I guess I was glad because you could walk it in. Hey.
Oh, well, fine. I'm not a
Hey everybody, so just so everybody knows, we're doing a live stream on YouTube, which you probably saw on the Facebook page. You're on this side of the gazebo, you are in the shot, so if you don't want to be on the camera, probably want to be on that side. But
yeah, let's try to keep it on one side.
I don't think everybody is gonna be like go viral or anything. Somebody says I'm crazy. Good, sir, how are you? Well, how are you? How about afterwards, okay? Good, we'll plan to set up. Oh, my goodness.
What?
We're having a meeting. These are all the folks that live in it.
There. Yeah. That's the first time I'm here. I've been just stay away from him. Like,
What the hell?
Who are you? Monica from school.
Well, Jack's not here.
Yeah, right. Stop. sign-in sheet and updated agendas. And
Right over there. There's a little more stuff. Yeah. I'm in no hurry. You're welcome. I don't ever call myself. Right, too big. Thank you. I always have so much. You gotta develop this. Where do you think? And Rob,
Oh, okay. That's it. Yeah, we'll vote. Let's bring it.
always,
Oh, really? We're gonna see where it- That was looking real good. Yeah. Family, everything. Yeah.
never mind.
We'll do a whole-
That's why I want to try.
open it, and then I have you guys all over here. you want. Be good. Like I said, I'll run through everything, and then there's gonna be questions for community outreach. Almost. Yeah, I'm looking for questions. So we'll just let them ask the questions. That way we won't try to preempt them. And did you include questions you include?
Together as like.
Okay.
Kind of.
Do you think these will be ones going to get, will be ones that we put in there?
So probably the one. Probably will be one. Some of the other ones might like the budget. I think like. Yeah. Shoulder.
Red, green, and everything.
It's pretty good all the way down. Then you get to this. Yeah. I thought about that. She's got two sides.
Really, see how.
I want to get an Very
I think it's not.
bad. Like all the- I think so. That's actually what's there.
You mind if I just throw my? Yeah, a little bit. That way, thank you.
Yeah, one more thing under here. It is. It is. Like,
I got one already.
yeah.
Right here.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think we got everybody here for this round. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. This is our official first ever HOA end of the year meeting with our own homeowners board. No management company, no developer involvement. We're gonna get started. Have all of the officers and board members introduce themselves, give their position. We're gonna, after that, we're gonna go through the agenda, and I'll give you guys all the information. We'll hold the questions till the end, and then we can go back and everybody can ask the questions, and we can kind of go through, and each of the board members can give you an idea of what we're going to be doing moving forward into next year. To get started, so my name is Earl Shandemeyer. I am the president of the HOA. VP? Or where'd you? Okay, well, go ahead.
All right, I'm Linda Fernandez. We are both over on Freeze Away. The fluffy dogs that are constantly running around are ours. I am currently treasurer, but I will be transitioning into more of a secretary role and transitioning out of the treasurer role. But as of right now, I'm kind of covering both duties.
So I'm April Thompson, and I am a director.
Hey, I'm Pete Canizero. I help out with the architectural requests and some of the social media stuff. You've probably seen my posts on both of the Facebook pages, and obviously have good to hear, right? So that's it.
I'm still alive, and I'm on the board.
I'm Renee Lincoln. I am going to be taking over the treasurer role. I live on Doris Court, and the background to being a treasurer is kind of one of those things. I'm a financial analyst at the craft plant, and I've worked in accounting for over 10 years, so I have experience setting up both of them.
Yeah.
All right, to get started, I want to thank the previous board members. We didn't always agree, and we ended up kind of splitting up here early in the year, but they did, they had huge hearts. They always had, their motivations were always right, and so I'd like to thank Alex and James, or James and Ashley Caverly, Alex Carlson, Darlene Curtis, and William Brown. Again, their hearts were always in the right place. We didn't agree on some things, but that doesn't mean anything in the end. We wouldn't be standing here today without them. To get started, we, as you know, terminated our contract with L&N. They were astoundingly bad and costing us many thousands of dollars. When we inherited this in November of last year, we were owed 19,144 in arrears. They had started. They hadn't done anything in the previous year to collect any dues that were in arrears. And when I spoke to the woman, Carol Duffy, her answer was, "Oh, that's okay. That's the way these things work." And then went on to tell me how we were going to need to raise dues to $600 in order to cover our debt. So in the last, so as we uncovered these things, working with L&N, trying to get the paperwork, they had also misappropriated over $8,000. We have a reserve fund. We're going to talk about that. That money is not to be used in any way except for capital contribution type issues, which would be if we wanted to put in some irrigation, we wanted to put in fixed irrigation, stormwater pond, anything that's big and it's capital investment. That fund is for that and that only. They stole $8,000 from that account. We were able to get John Dixon, the developer, to make us right on that. But that was really his big heart there. Otherwise, we would have been tied up in court trying to get that money. They also were paying all of the money to pass water to do, and that wasn't pass water, but to cut all open lots. So our HOA was paying for open lot management, which to the tune of almost $5,000. So we managed to get that money back also. And John Dixon gave us and returned that money. Those things and some other stuff that L&N was doing and costing us to the tune of somewhere this year would have been about $25,000. We decided that we just couldn't deal with them any longer, and they actually let us or kind of forced their arm, and they gave us they let us out of contract a year early because they were under contract still all the way through this year. Our current financials, you can see we have one checking account. That's where we do all of our bills get paid through one checking account. That balance is at $19,000 right now. The outstanding bills, so that'd be everything that we have left. Our Pass Water, which is our landscaping company, they're on a monthly. Everything projected out about $8,000. We have well drilling. So what we learned this month was that our irrigation system was put on county water, artesian water, which is the most astounding thing that I can possibly believe. But our developer put us on artesian for all of our both front and the common area here for irrigation. That cost us, and you might remember between July and mid to late August, we had all that rain. Even with that rain, even running just 30 minutes a day in the morning, it cost us $900. So we want to budget in to do two wells. Take one well in the common area, do another one out here, get us off of the artesian. Our return on investment there is less than a year. If we run the sprinkler systems, even 6 months. So we will recoup our money very quickly. I'm kind of blind, so if it takes me a second, that's my eyes adjusting. I'm too faint for glasses. So the current balance due in arrears. What this means is, if we take all 130 homes, we had $300 this year, plus we had $14,000 from all the previous years that we were carrying a balance. So right now, our total dues and arrears are $13,000. Now we've reached out. So what that means is we're way down. We're at about 82% compliance right now, and that number is only going up. because what we've done is reached out to homeowners, some, especially those that have been with previous management companies, those that have been here for multiple years and dealt with John Dixon. There were some significant arrears there. So we're talking anywhere from $3,000 to $1,500. So we've had a lot of people reach out to us. We've set up payment plans. So that money, we've put that down there. That's kind of accounted for. People are actively paying against those fees for arrears. We only have $5,000 right now that's owed to us in arrears only. When you look at the big picture, that's $5,000 that we have unaccounted for. We are speaking, and we'll get into that a little bit now, but we're trying to actively work with those homeowners right now to get something set up with them. You can see we've really cut the dues down, and that is nothing. Well, it has something to do with the board, but it has a lot to do with getting an HOA that's stable, getting a good budget, people knowing that their money's not going to be stolen or wasted, and people stepping up. So, I mean, really, you guys are doing that, not us. So that's awesome. So let's take a look at the budget. Just a very quick, to give an idea of what we're looking at for next year. And that's in your packet, I think, on the back. By far, our biggest cost here, and it's really all HOAs, or the vast majority, our biggest cost is landscaping. Hands down, bar none. Well, as soon as we got rid of the management company, because they cost more than the landscape. So you see that we're about 21,000, and I'm going to get into the landscaping a little bit more here. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot more than what we've been paying. However, what we were paying, you saw what we were getting our money's worth. We weren't getting our money's worth, even half of that. So talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Snow removal services, you have to put that in the budget, but Bay County, when we have snow removal, if we do it properly, every 3 inches, you can't come in and do it every inch, but if you do it every 3 inches, there's reimbursement from the county on that. So we really don't pay. Well, yeah, well, we go in. Okay. Artesian water, what we do, we put that in the budget because we have to approve, and we have yet to get the, we need to get the well drilling straightened out, make sure we get multiple bids. So we put that in there just in case. Electric, that's what we've been running, 400. It probably will vary a little bit more. If we get on 2 wells, we're going to end up with some little bit more electric because on pump, our well pump. The real estate taxes, that's just what your normal. We have 3 different insurance that we have to carry as an HOA board. Tax services, legal services. The legal services hopefully don't have to be that much, but we do have several homeowners that are not stepping up. So if we have to, we have money in the budget to start doing things like liens on homes or small claims, or some other legal action if necessary. I do not have the name off of it.
Whitford, it's that's what
Yeah, I don't. So that gives us a total, in about 39,000, which is dead on. And what we'd like to see is, because we wanted to start that kind of a community outreach, and we talked about like the Halloween stuff and like decorations and maybe some swing sets for kids. Is that if we can get that water out of that budget, we can move that into kind of some block party stuff, for COVID that goes away, but kind of getting people together to do some things, barbecues, like I said, for the kids, lots of stuff for the kids. So we'd like to have some of that money, move that over and allocate that. And if you're interested in participating in that committee, we have lots of fun. You know, the more people participate in that, the better.
Yeah, Attorney White first question and Taylor. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was the one that was already existing. They already had the account from not Lego and Norman, but the management company prior to that had started that collection processes. This address is just it might I know they have several different options. Ocean City, Wilmington, Bethany Beach, but yeah.
Violations committee. So what we're doing is this year has been really difficult. And just not difficult, but difficult. But it's been a lot of focus on moving away from a management company and re-solidifying an HOA under homeowner control. So we've kind of let the periphery stuff go, but we do have to. We have a very limited, and we're going to kind of talk about that in a little bit. A limited number of specific bylaws. So in we've kind of let everything go, but we need to start kind of refocusing on certain little aspects around the community. I really I hate the word violation. We're it's very heavy-handed, but at the same time, if we can't get people to do the right thing, there has to be something in our hands or gives us ability to do some things. Okay, old business. So let's get to the landscaping because that seems to be by far the most problematic thing that we deal with the HOA. Lots of homeowners unhappy. I'm not going to throw past water completely under the bus because it's not their fault completely. When we took over in April, we had maybe $3,000 total to work with, and we're paying about $1,500 a month in for pass water. I had to have them cut back on the number of cuts. I had to have them cut back on doing all extraneous work with the flower beds out front, everything, because I didn't want. We're a nonprofit. We don't have the ability to borrow, so we weren't going to go in debt, or I wasn't going to be floating money to pass water. So we cut them back, way back at the beginning, for about the first 6 months until we could get dues transferred over from the management company to us, so that we weren't, so the management company wasn't involved any longer. Now, also, when Passwater quoted us for the entire development, the trees that John Dixon put in, they weren't included. So you're talking hundreds of trees. I know this because I'm going around taking stakes out of them, and there's so many of them. But all of that work, all of the trees, all of the trimming around the trees, all of the mulching around the trees, all of even the cutting around the trees, the weeding of the trees, none of that was included in Passwater's original bid. And I held his feet to the fire and kept them. Kind of my fault, but we didn't really have the money anyway. But I kept him with his price that he quoted without the trees. So it was kind of the perfect storm this year, without money, additional work that was added into his contract, and he really wasn't all that happy with us to begin with. So he's way down south. He comes up here to work. He mostly does a lot of work with the management company. That's why he got the bid in the first place. So what our goal is this year, and we've got multiple bids coming in, but we have 2 folks here in development that do this work, and really our goal is to keep it in-house, and because we all know where they live, and also we've gotten better prices, but it's going to be a lot more work. We've got prices for doing all of the trees, weeding, multiple weedings up front, mulching everything. So a lot more work, and so it's going to look a lot better. We can also run we'll be able to run, because we didn't really run the irrigation at all this year, up to, thank God, actually, but up to August, when we went out and just started fudging with it, turned it on, making sure everything was working. So with the irrigation and stuff, that's going to give us a lot better look. Now we're not living on Augusta National, so we're not going to have perfect grass, but it will be looking much better. The weeding and stuff will be much better kept up with. It wasn't kept up with at all this year. So that's all positive stuff coming. And we'll have by the end of the year, we'll have those bids in, and we'll, because Past Water's contract's up first quarter of next year, they'll be out of the picture. He hasn't even asked quote, so I think he knows what's going on. Developer update. So the big question is, when are our roads going to be paved? Tired of like taking chunks out of my tires. We can't get, and the developer can't turn everything over until we get all these houses built. So we got 5 left. We have all of them are they're not Timberlake, they're Lacrosse, yeah. So they're all Lacrosse, they're all on the other side. As soon as we get those houses built, John Dixon, the developer, he wanted to be out of here. Believe me, he wants to be out of here the worst way. He wanted to be out of here by the end of the year. It's not going to happen. Even if they had the houses built by the end of the year, they can't do the roads until they reopen the plant probably late April. So we're looking at, for full turnover, we're looking at probably end of the first quarter to 2021 or beginning of second quarter 2021. So probably April to May of next year. We have several things in here that I'm going to have to get with John that I've noticed and I've had some other people talk about. So the road resurfacing, that's going to be one. When he turns it over, that's taken care of. We have issues with some drainage over here. The path, I mean, it's beautiful. It's become a perfect sandbox for the kids. We also have up front, we have a swamp that's formed right when you're driving in and out on the left-hand side to go out. That's complete swampland. It does not drain. The same way that there's a dip in the front walk there out front that's filled with water and doesn't drain. So we're going to be working with him to solve both of them, all those problems. He also has one small easement issue back here that he needs to finish the easement so that we can get it cut. I hacked at it, and Chris came in and finished it up. But we had to cut that back. When you get in there, you can see that it's not been finished. So again, John wants desperately to get out of here. This is just a money pit at this point. He needs to be out and gone. So not going to happen this year. So look for late first quarter, early second quarter next year. Okay, we will. So this on the Declaration of Covenants and the bylaw revision. You can see on one of your papers here, there's a kind of a sample. What we wanted to do is we have by far, and I've been in a few HOAs and I've looked at a lot of paperwork. We have by far like the least bylaws and the most ambiguous bylaws I've ever seen. Like they don't even make any sense. Some apply to us, some don't even apply to us at all. So what we wanted to do is go through, get a committee together, and you know anybody that's you know interested in this, let us know, and you come on board. It's not a permanent position, so you're not getting wrangled into something that's going to be like 3-year commitment. It's just like a quick commitment. But we want to go through all of our bylaws and figure out what makes sense for us, because some things don't make any sense and some things aren't included that probably should be in our bylaws. And you know, there's a couple examples on here, and I don't remember which one to put. Yeah, I mean, we have anything from 2 dogs, which 2 dogs or any animal, to white curtains in the windows, to or the muffler. It's like
Can't have any modified muffler at all.
yeah. So there's a lot, but what we want to do is look at them all, get something that makes sense for our community, And then what we have to do is we put it out there to everybody, and then there has to be a full membership vote. So and you'll take it line by line, like yes on this one, no on this one, and then when we get 80% for each one, then we can take that. That's also in the legal fees. We can take that. The lawyer will put that out, rewrite it up, and we submit that back to the county so that they have our official bylaws. And that's so we'll be doing that this year. And again, if anybody's interested, yes, sure.
So one of the things to just keep in mind is we want to go through all the bylaws and vote on them basically one time. We don't want to have multiple votes, and we don't want to have to take this to the lawyer multiple times because that just costs more money. So anybody that really wants to get involved in this, like we want to make this community make sense for us, right? So we don't want some weird laws that were written by a lawyer that was just copy and pasted from another community. So if you guys have any idea what you want to change, let us know. You can shoot us an email, or you can come on the committee. The bylaws are all up on the website. You can download them, check them out. You also got them when you bought them.
Well, that gets right into the website, which I wish we'd have put that. We didn't put the website address on here, but we do have the bylaws, and we also have online payment. I don't know if this is new to anyone, but we finally got online payment. For this year we didn't do it. For next year we have to. PayPal takes out 3%, so if we pay online like anywhere else, yes, it's going to be a 3% surcharge on top of it. So the weekend was 300, I think, like $9.30 that they were taking out for a $300 payment. We do have new website. Virginia did a phenomenal job. Pete did a phenomenal job on the website. I also wanted to give Virginia props. All of our paperwork has our logo and our design work. Well, stop! I didn't sign it.
Not today.
I
Not today's
look at the paper. All right, fine. But phenomenal job. That's pretty much it. So I'll just answer, a couple of these questions. I think we've answered, and then we can just take open questions. So where does the money go? You got the budget. the vast majority of the money goes to grass, growing grass and cutting grass, and very little to anything else. Roads will be paved. Landscape mowing and easements, we got it. So stormwater pond. One more time, he's going to come in. John will come in. When he turns over the community. If you don't know, we have a stormwater pond. We have a pond. It's on the far side. Go down the easement, and there it is. It's full of reeds right now, but that just happens every year. So when John turns over the development, that'll be cleaned out and that'll be turned over. The county has to sign off on it. When they do that, it becomes our responsibility, and that's part of the budget. Part of the landscaping budget is twice a year to get in there and make sure we keep that cleaned out. The reason we want to keep it cleaned out, and we want to keep the sides clean, you don't want trees in there, is that it fills up. The faster it fills up, the faster we have to pay to have it dredged back out. So it's much cheaper to have it maintained every year than it is to go and wait 10 years and have basically have it redone. So that's going to be included in the landscaping budget, and that wasn't included for past water, so they weren't doing that at all. The other already. Or we did kick that around. That's something we're thinking about. Yeah. Well, what we wanted to do, we actually bring the guys, bring county guy out, sit him down, and run a bunch of different questions by him, and have him give us his, his best advice on what we do. But I that was our thought. Is that they're experts, they have the tools and the resources, and why not? All right. That pretty much is just a general outline. Now we can fill questions. Anybody have anything? Yes,
One
have you seen an inconsistency? We haven't had many violations. But
where I know that the file that's right by word of mouth where I don't see this in their house that I reflect of that six that I have where I have my violation yes file you know so that's so it has to be fair and balanced. What that I want to bring up this law and we're not successful. Every month walk here for a reason or small and it's just sticking up. When one of the things that I was doing up, I see something now in COVID one and I see certain letters of we're gonna refer to a debt collector or we're gonna refer to that's not me. That's when you see about stories that take place, come together. So I look at our community as can we be the poster child where we together. I don't look at my neighbor and say, well, today I'm not gonna be friendly. So if you want to say community, maybe the next person down the street like to pay. We don't know his her situation of why they can't pay or can't pay. So come together as I know the past wars that occurred, and can't go on the past. I know that there were problems with the past disagreement, as they say, agree, disagree, but I think really have to come together or if you can print 15 years, you know what I mean? But if you're not a true community, it doesn't work. Like you and I thought, you said to have a movie night where the friends, let's remember, let's go to the movie and do the right thing. Because now, you have to come to make the next time a diverse community.
well, I agree. And what we've done as far as dues, we've reached out to every homeowner, and those who have reached back have had payment plans set up. Now, we can't come to your door and make you talk. So if you do not come to us after we've reached out, we have no other option. And we can't be a community if only some of us are willing to take care of all others. So that's where we've reached out multiple times to everyone saying we are more than open to it's $25 a month. We are more than open to working out any sort of payment. If you can give us $10 a month, just let us know that you're having an issue and we can work. And all but a few people have reached out and we've done that. Absolutely. Because you can't be but it's kind of that two-way street. You can't be a community where some are expected to be taken care of and the others are doing it. So again, everybody stepped up. I mean, there's only a couple of people, and it's, we're real proud of everybody. Well,
but I support that.
No, and I'm as bad as I've got I'm harder. So it's good. Great questions, great comments.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maurice Stanford. I'm probably one of your tallest neighbors. So, hello to everybody. Two questions. Where actually is that pond?
Well, if you just walk straight, you'll walk right through it.
Okay.
Yep. Walk right
You
down
have
the back.
access to it.
Yep.
You say you want to beautify it around, or just cut around it?
Well, if you when you go down and look, so it's about the grass is about this high. So we cut it about every 2 weeks over there, and then inside the pond itself, it's basically a wetland. So it has lots of reeds and stuff to grow up. So it's just a matter of grubbing those out and keeping the vegetation to a minimum in there, so that when it dies, it doesn't rot in the bottom and fill the pond.
Yeah, pack water is supposed to be taking care of it right now, and it is part of the quote that we are getting is pond maintenance. And I believe, was it Pete, you noticed, that last letter that went out to the homeowners that had that information sheet from the county, that website. There's something about like that I think they can help, the state or the county helps with pond maintenance.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah.
The county can
Yeah,
help.
Yeah, the county will help.
That's what happens when I go and make coffee.
They'll help with the pond maintenance in the sense of they'll keep it working well as a stormwater pond. They're not gonna come out there and mow it so it looks like this, every week.
But we do have land, it is going to be part of the new landscape contract.
Second question. I see that in reference to electric, like $400. Is it possible that we can get a light that at the entrance, I don't know if someone spoke with this, but the only light, like at night, is the light across the street that projects on our entrance. So I was suggesting maybe like by the sign that says Old Village or somewhere where there's a light.
Like landscaping lights to like project on the sign.
Yeah, or just lights to help people get to the entrance. Or so visitors or anybody will know that this is Old Village.
Right. So we were actually.
So I mean, does everybody prefer it that way?
That's
Or
right.
help me understand.
That's kind of true.
The greatest thing around here is debate.
So everybody would prefer it to be sort of.
Yeah, you're too big to be. Well, that's a good question because we've had several homeowners talk about it, and I'll tell you what. I was walking around yesterday. I mean, I didn't walk yesterday. I was trying to see stuff, and it is really dark. I mean, you can't really see much. So that was part of bringing somebody out from the county to assess whether or not who's be responsible for putting these in, and then and where would
how that work? Free light falls under my department.
you're hired, but
Thank you, sir. Tell them I deserve a raise. So with that, things to keep in mind, cost the light, height that call, with sensor, electric, et cetera, that call spread out into all of them. However, we had last year, let's say, annual property tax, for a light hit, spread out over, that's that much property tax. That's things to keep in mind. There's no free lunch.
Yeah, I have to say, but kind of bringing out the other coffee and donuts, which is true. Like, and it is hard, and we know it's homeowners, especially if you're not familiar with an HOA. You look at that reserve fund, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's $40,000. Why the hell do we $40,000? Sorry. But that's kind of part of that is we don't want to have additional cost to homeowners. Just like if we drop the well, that money comes out. That's the point of the reserve fund. And then over time, because 10% of annual dues go back in each year. Right.
Oh,
oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
Talk about directly as far as HOA.
you need to give me a call. We need to talk. You're very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
it by
you
making
don't go
it
to
owned
county,
by
but
a builder.
go to HOA,
Hasn't been put
it won't
down
affect anything but property. I think that's
as a
very
resident, as a default.
I'm upset that I got to.
How does everybody feel about the light? I know everybody want to keep. Stop, right?
The gentleman over here and his wife who lives in front of the house, they want their house lit up, you know what I mean? They're looking out, they have all these lights that they're making.
Who's the gentleman that lives in the front? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Gary.
Well, like,
Okay.
Yeah, they have two. Okay, so what we found is this is something we need to bring somebody in and we make that decision as a community kind of thing.
yeah, I got one.
So I'm calling them tomorrow.
Fire hydrant.
I'm calling them tomorrow because that's ridiculous.
They cut the other two ones. They didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a situation of, like I said, we were paying to have the open lot maintenance done when it wasn't our expense. So as soon as past water stopped getting their money, they stopped cutting the lots. That's why that all suddenly changed, that the open lots now look as bad as they do, is because we stopped paying for it because it was never our expense. It should have been the builders and the developer that dealt with that. So yeah, you gotta get up with lacrosse and,
First thing.
yeah.
You know, that kind of falls in line with two questions I have. My name is Brian Keister. My wife and I just moved into the neighborhood a month and a half ago. So
Yeah.
thank you. So we're at 212 Oldfield. I noticed that there have been sold signs on a couple of the lots next to us for, gosh, it's been like 2 months now, but no activity.
They are sold. The lady stopped at my house and she says, I just came down, waiting on my.
Lacrosse is very slow to develop, I've
Wow.
noticed.
Okay.
That's why they're the only ones that are left.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
just
we're
slow
anxious
to
to find
develop.
out who's going to be living next to us. It just seems like it's been dead.
I know she was say they were cutting those.
Call
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
Well, Timberlake's
I know,
actually just emailed us about wanting to know about dues stuff, because Timberlake's about to put the model up. So Timberlake is definitely, and I think some of that, Timberlake has 2 other communities. They're building one in Milford, one in Camden, and Lacrosse might not have anywhere else to go. So they might be like, you know, we're gonna stretch it out through the winter.
But we're gonna talk.
But we're
Tomorrow,
gonna,
they'll have that.
Does that include behind us then as well? Just I don't even know what it's got
The
between the
field?
yards and the field, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's farm. I mean, you can cut all the way to the back, but no, like that. We have the same way against the woods, and he put a couple of easements in place we can't get. So there's an easement in your backyard. Chances are that, I mean, unless you want us to drop across the yard to get to it, just cut it or let it
yeah,
grow. It's
easements
up
and
to
right
you.
of ways aren't in the contract with like for
Yeah.
landscaping, because it is considered your property, and to get to it, we have to go on your private property. So that's why easements and right of ways do what you want, you know.
Yeah.
You can either let them become part of the wild if they're in the back, if they're on the side, you know, that's,
Or we can get cut
yep,
ourselves.
you can get a cut, yeah. All right, there was a question over here.
I'm Jack Ormrod, live right over here. Just moved in a couple of months ago.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you. Talking about lighting out there by the front. Wanted to cut down on a lot of it by considering solar LED floodlights that they have now. After cutting your cost way down, and might be something to think about.
Yeah, and that would be where you
You can light both sides of the sign, whatever you want to light.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it almost seems like we need a lighting committee, folks. So,
How about it, Ted?
all right. You gotta get with the big guys.
See his face.
can screw the light bulbs.
A first,
We're at the
Okay,
wrong guy.
where's our social outreach? So Rachel and April are our social.
I can believe, because I lived in base housing, so base house would always have yard of fun. So I won like 3 times a year. So. But yeah, I mean, I think with the social security, especially something where you are getting a well instead of having to pay pass water, the water bill money instead do social stuff. So do like yard of the month thing where you can get like a winning, gift card from Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. Doing stuff for Halloween decorations, which if you ever go to the end of Doris Court on Halloween night, it is awesome. My neighbor's doors down. And then Christmas too as well. For holidays, December holiday season to get to the bound. But yeah, that's something that I brought up when I joined as well. That would be a good communication. On top of doing something like a movie night, maybe annual like cookout in the summertime, that kind of thing, a community thing. Yeah.
Cornhole tournaments, if anybody plays.
Yard sale.
Yeah.
Great. Here. Go ahead.
Okay. I live at 56 Gloria over here, and I've been in contact with King County about yard waste, the green bins.
We love you. Thank you.
We actually have 5% of people sign a petition, and then we would have to submit that to King County. They then call each person on the list to say, hey, did you really sign this? Do you really agree to this? And then people from the HOA board would go to one of their meetings and say, yes, this is true, we want this. So very long process that if we get enough people that want that, it won't happen until maybe next April. The service is good from April through December, and that would be for things like yard clippings, bushes, weeds, things like that. Anything that you can't put in your black or blue bins go into green bins. So the cost of that is about $20 to $30 per month. That would be wrapped into the bill that comes for just a regular trash service.
Winner.
Yeah, it will be wrapped in with that, with the property. So, if anyone is interested in that, I do have a petition here. If you want to sign it or if you want more information, I can post on the Facebook page and send out any more information that someone would want, or if you have questions or anything.
Yeah, definitely send it to us and we'll get it up on the website. We'll get it up on the Facebook, and then maybe we can get the volunteers to go door to, or figure out a way to get people to sign the petition.
Yeah, I was just hesitant during COVID to like.
No, I don't blame you. But, I don't blame you.
If we have enough on the petition, do others have the option to opt out and not accept the can?
No.
Yeah.
All or nothing.
Yeah, that's why they want 65% majority.
He agreed with it.
Okay.
Contact our office. It will be
there were a lot of things that people were told, and other reason we don't have them.
In my on other people in our were told that after now we have a power about and I think that we have to say now thing. I just want to know everything else is not from last year when I called think about the causes of water but no
Well, all easements, so you have an easement in the middle of, all of our houses have easements on them. That's where all your power lines are.
but that
He said the same thing that like he was who was it that was talking
Yeah.
about.
but not how.
Right. So
Now, where are you? Yeah, I'm sorry.
across the street from me,
Can we get to the easement?
Without us getting on your property.
I think you can get to it from the easement that has all the concrete and rocks and stuff. I think you can get to it like that.
If we can get there without damaging your lawn, we'd be more than happy to take care of it. But if we have to go on your lawn and there's any chance of us, because then that's going to be an issue.
Well, I mean,
That kind of thing, it's not, the cost there is not minimal for the HOA to cover, but it's damage to homeowner's property, that I would be concerned about.
my thing is, so I would say right now, and I'm actually trying to pull up the declaration, to clarify what our says. Land use.
I don't keep away and then much that they said we'll get on.
I don't know if that was something that maybe the developer or somebody else.
Well, because what happens is that easement you need to be able to maintain it. So if it wasn't able to be
Finish.
maintained, then they have to come along and finish it so that you can maintain it. Just like we have the between the two homes over here, where they never finished it, so it grew up and it can't be cut. So now we're gonna have him come in, the developer has to finish that, and an easement in the back, it's almost never do the HOAs, are they ever responsible for easement. Well, you have the internet, big place, a lot of information.
Well,
I can't.
I said our bylaws and our covenant, that's why we're trying to potentially make changes to some of them, because they're not. Hold on.
All right, we have, all right. Ma'am,
And I thought it was explained, and actually Terry's neighbor a few doors down and Brian's neighbor right next door and one of the houses with that easement. I want to say thank you, Earl, especially to you, because I saw you out there many days with your weed whacker. I'm like, who's this guy in this Beamer whacking weeds over here? I figured it had to be you. Thank you, and thank all the other board members for stepping up and volunteering. I was told by Timberlake that it was the developers, not the HOA, the developers' responsibility. That easement would be cleared and they would put seed down, so it would be just grass and it would be maintained, I believe, after that by the HOA. I would love what Terry and Brian said, because that, and I know you saw it, that continuation of rainforest behind like that block of 5 of our houses back there is horrific, and you can't mow it. I tried, and it's just, I mean, some of those things are like 6 feet tall and you just can't do it. I would love if that was cleared out. I saw my neighbor on the other side of that easement pull out a snake a couple of weeks ago that had to be a good 5 or 6 feet. I don't want anything to do with that. Even just the frogs, the crickets, whatever's living back there can go live somewhere else. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of creatures coming out of there, and it's just, you know, I feel bad. I know Brian's kids have allergies, and there's just tons of back there, and if that can be dealt with, I would love it. I can't believe that the 3 or 4 houses down haven't ever said anything about it before. But if the developer would go back there and clear it out, and then it would be easy, I guess, you know, to maintain afterwards.
I could talk to John.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have to get in there and walk around to see if they've done anything, you know, as far as finishing the surface, so that we could have a mower back there. That's brush hog.
Like,
you have to brush hog that.
I think it's just kind of stand. So pretty much what you saw underneath
that easement in between the houses. I think it's pretty much what it looks like back there.
Yeah.
There are a couple of like bald spots where you can see, and it's just rocks and sand.
I'm going to be getting with the developer on multiple issues. I'm going to get with him, and I'll let you guys know what he says. You know what what the plans are, and what we can do to help you out. I definitely got to get with him anyway on that strip, because that needs to be either sodded or brought up and I mean you've got your sod 8 inches, so it's not good. Like
I'm not
that's not
expecting to
finished.
pay for the sod, but even
No.
kind of figure it out, but see down
Yeah.
would be-
But ultimately, if that's right, your 2 yards come together, and you guys got extra that whole
Well,
strip
extra,
becomes 2 yards.
So just, this is the way our declaration is written right this second. Each owner shall be liable to the association for the cost or any upkeep performed by the association. So it sounds like if we take it over, it's still gonna be a homeowner cost. That the owner is reliable to the association for the cost. So again, that's something we can look at addressing, but as of right now. That's how it's written.
And we could talk to whoever we end up doing the bid with. If we can get a good price, twice a year to have them come in and just brush all of that down. In my previous HOA, we did that in the backfield. We brushed all this, Amish guy come in actually, and cut it down. So, and or the farmer, if he can grow something there, a lot of times, they'll do that also. So, but I'll have to get with the developer. We have to figure out when he's going to get that finished, and he'll come in and we'll look at it, and I'll let you know.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
And there's one question and then that's the question.
One thing I just like to say, being from Delaware, and many of you I know have, I know this too about, like, this is Delaware. Delaware is a very different state from where perhaps it came from New York, or it came from Pennsylvania. And the thing that I always jokingly say about Delaware is Delaware is not going to make any changes until the ride comes back. So when is Caesar Rodney coming back? And you came here, and it's a country setting. The snake back there, your first. You know, you hate to say it. You know, it's a marsh there. And a lot of the changes that we tend, maybe that you're looking for, aren't necessarily going to be comparable, maybe to where, unfortunately, where you came from. Delaware is it's a whole different type of. And I sincerely say that. It's true. That's right. Yep.
I incorporated the easement. My landscaper, great guy lived in the creek. So it's incorporated in my land.
Yeah, that's
So-
exactly what you're supposed to do.
I would just love if I
Absolutely. Yeah, you could. So just for your
I can't
information,
put a shed on it.
it's your an easement. An easement just means it's land that can be used if somebody needs to access something under the ground, say your pipes, or they make an easement so that I can drive from one spot to another. So they make an easement through your property that allows that person to drive through if on occasion. It wouldn't be like a road. So it's still yours to use. And I don't know why it's an easement. I'd have to look to understand why. But I would there's no reason you could put a shed.
Do I have to go through the county or I can just?
You have to go
Our
through the HOA.
Our request. You have to submit an ARC request for a shed.
Oh, I have to go press on the HI.
Yeah.
It hasn't, but yeah.
No, that's right. No. That's why the sod is what's got it. That's what's property.
So that's another issue. So speed. I know none of us are at fault, but so it's easy. It's easy to speed in here. It's 25, which probably should be less than that. And there's two straightaways. We don't want to, get draconian, but we do have the option of putting in speed bumps. Now the problem with speed bumps is that we're responsible as an organization, the homeowners. If somebody comes along with a Ferrari and tears off their bumper over our speed bump, we're responsible for that. also we have to make sure that they're removable because we've got snow. Yeah, they might not, but we can't get it. We can go. Well,
I mean, the other thing we talked about, you know, over at Chestnut Ridge, that like, what, they put in additional stop signs, you know, but if
we
they're
gotta-
not obeying them now, you know, I don't. Oh, I know.
It's
I
not.
mean, we're right across the playground, we know, so,
I know.
but I don't.
I got clipped by a car while I was riding my bike, right over there. Some Uber driver or whatever clipped me, knocked me right off my bike.
Yeah, no, this is
So,
no, it's not
there's
good.
always the option of have pictures sent to us, and we can, you know, send by the window if we don't like it, but.
So, so there's another option.
I mean,
Well,
you know, it's,
but
you know,
Did I come to your house and give you a warning, though, right?
you know, my whole thing is where I'm like, I
Now, so we do have other options. There are control devices that you might see by the road that have the speeds have cameras in them. So we can get one for about $4,000 that we put it anywhere in here, and it captures the car, the speed, and gives us you can send it to your phone. It has it on memory, so that we can have that. If we're going to talk about violations, that's probably the one thing that we should clamp down on as hard as we can, because there's so many kids in this development.
That is just very important thing, being that we are a community. Why don't we just be cognizant, mind each other of speed, but we do have children. So each person or we can just send a reminder out every time we send out a flyer, just be cognizant of your speed, but there is still.
It's a good start. It's a good start, but that's why they're police. It's why they pull people over for speeding, because it seems like we can't. They're just going to be certain people. So we did, and we have been like we've been talking about this a lot. But it only takes one kid to step out behind the car, and so whatever it takes, people to still slow down. We got to do it. It's not. Which is everywhere. I don't think I've ever been through this. Everywhere.
Now, it's a development responsibility. I don't think they stopped at my house, and I was putting it in my neighbors and the people that just built. Are they going to get the trees?
I have to talk to him because I had that exact question last night when I was walking around. Because that wasn't developed last year. We put them in April.
Right.
April of 18.
Somewhat.
Are you gonna send them home?
But I was just wondering because my neighbors like they should be getting trees. And that should be on the development, right?
Oh yeah, yes. I'm gonna talk to him, but I imagine the plot plan when it was finished included that area. That's funny because when they went in, there's a whole lot of people that weren't happy about it. So you're like, putting more trees. Good. Probably a dozen people would get there. But yeah. So when I talk to John Dixon about that, I'm gonna talk to him about the rest of the trees.
Oh, my neighbors, I hope I'm not putting my mouth like having you have trees on your property.
That's fine. I'm gonna get like 5
No,
complaints.
but I like to be.
The other thing I want to touch on yet is dogs. Dog owners. We get this. This relates to us as well. So we just got a couple people that have reached out lately about one, not cleaning up. So if your dog, make sure you have two guys with you to make sure you're cleaning up after your dog food. Make sure it's not, you're staying off of each other's properties. That's kind of disrespectful.
Hard to.
I mean, yeah, but
honestly, as long as you clean up, I think a majority of people. It's not like you're not having your dog run all.
yeah, I think that's usually the biggest thing is just cleaning up after them and
The dog's running on the property. We're not talking about you got a dog on like a 4-foot leash and he walks on the first couple feet of the ground. There are people that have the dogs on a big long retractable leash, and the dog is halfway up in my yard, and it drives my dog in the house crazy and thinks they're over the house. Right? Like that's where you talk about just being courteous to somebody else, right? Be a good neighbor.
Playground's the same way, yeah. Like the other weekend was really nice, and there was a lot of.
Yeah.
Common sense, clean up after.
I spent 20 minutes out here this morning cleaning up trash here for this meeting.
Yeah, no, so that's we talked about trash barrels. We kind of got stuck with who's going to empty them, but because we're right across from the playground, I don't have any problem putting one out. You know, we could go buy like 50-gallon drums, even though they're going to be heavy, but the big plastic ones we can buy and we can put them. We just have to secure them here so they don't walk away. Yeah, I mean, we could, yeah, and we could just throw it. And the other thing that I thought about, and I don't know what the cost would be, but if we ended up with yard waste, enough yard waste, just have a dumpster come, have a place we could put it, maybe one of these easements aside out of the way, that we could as a community just fill that a dumpster with yard waste. If instead of, if we can't get that, there's lots of, I mean, we're pretty smart people. There's a lot of us. We should be able to come up with answers to just about everything. We just need everybody's brain. You guys are going to get together in your committee and leave me alone. We're going to do whatever you want, and I'm going to come and make you hot. So yeah, so you got April and Renee and. Oh no, you're not. Oh, sorry,
It's
Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Renee's like, I got quick work. I know.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. If you guys have pictures of the community, obviously not weird, creepy pictures of people's houses. But if you have just general pictures of the community, you took a cool picture of the rainbow or sky or something like that. Shoot them into the website, or shoot them into the email address, and I'll put them up on the website. I have a whole photo gallery ready to go up on there. I only have like 4 pictures right now, but I could use them with background photos, all that kind of stuff. I could use your help because I'm only one guy.
I think that works. If we miss anything, if there are any burning, outstanding questions, concerns. Oh,
I come from a big city where people are not that friendly, but walking around one day. I love it. And I thank you for being a great day.
Welcome, man. Well, if you don't have any more questions,
anything else? Any more questions?
all right. Enjoy the great weather before it starts.